KsMr presents a history of the Marvel Universe. There have been two confirmed Big Bangs. The first occurred when the original iteration of reality was destroyed during a civil war among the enigmatic and powerful Celestials, resulting in the second reality and first multiverse. The second confirmed Big Bang occurred at the end of the sixth reality, when a ship from that reality collided with the Alpha Omega, an object containing all potential energy and matter. The resulting explosion created the seventh reality. Abstracts are non-physical, conceptual beings who employ living fractals from the dimension of manifestations to fashion a physical appearance to interact with physical beings. Among known abstracts are the four pillars of reality: eternity, infinity, death, and oblivion. Above them stands the living tribunal, the embodiment of arbitration and judgment, and the one above all, which is believed to be responsible for all life. Much of our understanding of the abstracts comes from the first few pages of KsMr, issue 20. When all matter of the sixth iteration of reality began collapsing, scientist Galan of Tar boarded a spaceship and flew directly into the point of collapse to seek what existed outside of time and space. However, Galan was instead filled with cosmic energy when his ship survived the death of his reality. When his ship collided with the Alpha Omega, the second confirmed Big Bang occurred, birthing the seventh iteration of reality. After untold billions of years, the ship crashed on an unidentified planet. There, the energy being formerly known as Galan transformed his ship into an incubator and launched it back into space, spending countless centuries evolving within. One recorded origin of the Infinity Gems tells a solitary, omnipotent being ending its life to escape loneliness. From the ashes of this being rose all of reality. The being's power was reincarnated as gems that control the mind, power, time, the soul, space, and reality. How this origin is reconciled with other creation accounts has yet to be revealed. The greatly feared Phoenix Force is allegedly the nexus of all psionic energy that has, does, or ever will exist. Its primary purpose is to burn away anything deemed obsolete and regrow it as it sees fit. Comics such as Classic X-Men 8 and Classic X-Men 43 and Fantastic Four 286 first revealed much of what is known about the Phoenix Force. Among the earliest beings to evolve into existence were the Icanti, peaceful beings who have roamed space since creation began in their quest for knowledge. They can exist in the vacuum of space and travel at speeds faster than light. The Icanti first appeared in Uncanny X-Men number 166. In the fourth edition of Silver Surfer, the being called the Grand Master relayed the origin of the Elders of the universe. Each is the vastly powerful surviving member of their own race, which are reported to be among the earliest races to exist, and the secret of their near-immortal existences is their abiding interest in a specific aspect of their lives, for example, collecting, gambling, or gardening. Avengers 28 in 1966 was the first appearance of an Elder. Avengers 174 in 1978 was the first mention of the group. The M-Crown Crystal. Believed to have been a wedding gift between two gods worshipped by the avian Shia race, the M crown crystal serves as a housing unit for the crystal heart of reality, a nexus of all that is and ever was that allows access to other realities and worlds. The planet where the crystal resides is believed to be the first planet that brought forth life in the universe. The crystal and the planet first appeared in X-Men number 107 to 109 in 1977. Eon is allegedly the offspring of eternity, the embodiment of time, and was one of the first sentient entities formed following the second confirmed Big Bang. His mission of shepherding all life in existence and his role of appointing the protectors of the universe were detailed in Captain Marvel 29. In 2017, the sixth issue of the Ultimates revealed that the giant enigmatic celestials came into existence when the first iteration of reality, also known as the first firmament, created them to counter its extreme loneliness. The activities of the Celestials between the death of the first cosmos and the mysterious labours in the seventh cosmos, using their vast powers to perform experiments on countless species to apparently foster evolution, are currently unrevealed. But the Celestials first appeared in Eternals 2 in 1976. The vile insectoid brood's hunger and procreation method drove them to conquer other races by parasitically implanting eggs into hosts that eventually transform into brood when the embryo hatches. Some time before Earth formed, the brood enslaved the Akanti race, using them as a mobile food source in their quest to infest the universe. The brood first appeared in Uncanny X-Men number 155 in 1982, and their enslavement of the Akanti was recounted in Uncanny X-Men 166 in 1983. The virtually omniscient and immortal Watchers took an oath of passive observation after their altruistic gift of atomic energy eventually resulted in the Procyon race developing nuclear weapons and destroying themselves. Watchers are stationed throughout all of existence, silently watching and recording multiple planes of reality. Their pooled knowledge is then entered into the Encyclopedia Universum information database. The first Watcher, Uatu, appeared in Fantastic Four number 13 in 1963. The race's origin is recounted in Tales of Suspense number 53 in 1964, and the Encyclopedia Universum is first seen in Fantastic Four 544 in 2007. Supervillain Classics number 1 in 1983 and Thor 169 in 1969 depict the energy being formerly known as Galan emerging from his incubator as Galactus. However, he was forced to exit his incubator prematurely due to attacks from aggressive wayfaring civilizations. Galactus emerged as a vastly powerful being whose immense hunger could only be sated through the consumption of the life energy of entire planets. The first planet to be consumed by Galactus was Archaeopia. During the millennia it took him to create a solar system-sized ship, Galactus became one of the most feared beings in existence. Over the passage of time, matter continued to form stars and planets. One such planet possessed a rich, fertile biosphere filled with the potential for life. This planet would eventually become known as Earth. The formation of Earth was depicted in Silver Surfer Annual number 2 and Thor Annual number 10. As the Earth cooled, energy within the atmosphere eventually became sentient. This sentient energy became known as the Demiurge and seeded the planet with potential life force. From the primeval mud came the first life on Earth, the Elder Gods. Among them were the benevolent Gaia, the kind and noble mystic Oshter, the demonic Sithan, and the serpentine Set. After Set committed Earth's first murder, the elder gods degenerated into demons. Eventually, Atum, the son of Gaia and the Demiurge, slew the elder gods, except Gaia, who eventually became Mother Earth. Oshter, who had departed to explore other realms, and the escaping Sithon and Set. Before he left, Sithan wrote his first vast knowledge of dark magic on parchments that would eventually imperil Earth. The Elder Gods' history is summarized in the last story in Silver Surfer Annual No. 2 in 1989. In Thor No. 7 in 2015, a summary of the 10 realms is found. The 10 realms are the major inhabited realms of Asgardian cosmology. All but heaven, which was cut off from the others after a war with Asgard, are connected by Yggdrasil, an energy system represented by a tree and roots in Asgardian mythology. This representation of the axis mundi, the center of the world where all things meet, is seen differently by all. According to Asgardian mythology, the realms were created billions of years ago through the actions of various Asgardians and beings from the realms. Earth, Midgard, was made by Odin Borson and his brothers from the corpse of a frost giant. Whether this alternate tale of Earth's creation is accurate remains unrevealed. Another demon to exist on early Earth is the Beast, a nihilistic, murderous creature who longed to return to Earth to its peaceful, quiet, dark state by annihilating all living beings, which it sees as a corruption of purity. Much of the Beast's origin and early activities remain unrevealed, but its motivation was revealed by the Beast itself in the 7th issue of Elektra Assassin in 1987. Prior to the Demiurge's seeding of the planet, the celestial progenitor crashed on Earth due to an infection by cosmic locusts called the Horde. After its death 4 billion years ago, the celestial's blood and rotting flesh seeped into the planet, making Earth a unique breeding ground for potential superhuman events and beings. The sad story of this celestial, also called Celestial Zero, can be found in Avengers No. 5 from 2018. Furthering their enigmatic agenda, the Celestials experimented upon a reptilian race in the Andromeda M31 galaxy, leaving one branch of that race laced with unstable molecules that enabled shapeshifting. Over several millennia, this Skrull branch became the dominant branch of the race and one of the greatest interstellar empires through trade. The Celestials' experimentations on the Skrulls were revealed in Silver Surfer No. 5 in 1987. Billions of years ago, the other dimensional Beyonders contracted the extraterrestrial Nuvali to create a game preserve on what would become Earth's Antarctica landmass, gathering into it the flora and fauna of the time. After millions of years, both the Beyonders and the Nuvali abandoned the zoo, but the technology established to maintain the environment continues working to this day. The origins of this savage land can be found in KsMr Savage 31 in 1984. What started as a single avian race billions of years ago would be shaped by the secret and enigmatic fraternity of raptors into the most powerful and largest empire in the known universe. Over the many centuries of the empire's rise, the race evolved away from their wings, though the majority of the Shi'ar race still have the feathers instead of hair. The age of the Shi'ar Empire is confirmed in Avengers 378 in 1994. Fantastic Four 205 to 206 in 1979, and Nova Issue 1 in 1976 detail the ancient history of the Xandarian living computers later called the world mind, and the Nova Core, the living computers, the cumulative knowledge, art, culture, and minds of all deceased Sandarians, empowered the planet's militia with the Nova Force, granting them numerous superpowers. Gradually, the Nova Corps would come to serve as law enforcement across the universe. Also, millions of years ago, the progenitors, no relation to Celestial Zero, experimented on the primitive Kree race, advancing their evolution through exposure to a substance called primogen. Over the following centuries, blue and pale-skinned Kree would develop into another powerful empire in the universe. When the Skrulls came to Hala to offer their advanced technology in exchange for resources, they proposed a contest between the planet's two races. The primitive Kree destroyed their rivals, the plant-like Kotati, in order to win the contest. When the Skrulls objected to this barbarism, the Kree slew the Skrull party and seized their ship. Later, after mastering Skrull tech, the Kree attacked the Skrull world, prompting the peaceful Skrulls to adopt aggression and war. The resulting conflict, the Kree-Skrull War, was waged for millennia. The start of the war was first explained in Avengers number 133 to 134 in 1975. When the Celestials visited Earth en masse, they experimented on Earth's anthropods, creating the cosmically powered Eternals and their hated rivals, the genetically unstable Deviants. They also instilled a latent superhuman gene in a third group that would eventually grow into Earth's dominant species, humanity. 1,200,000 years ago, the celestial named Zgreb the Esperant came to Earth while seeking its fellow celestial, the progenitor. After becoming infected by the Horde, Zgreb became deranged, forcing Odin Borenson to gather super beings of that time, collectively calling themselves the Avengers, to prevent him from harming Earth. These heroes featured such early incarnations of Doctor Strange, the Black Panther, and the Phoenix. The Krees planned to create a super army to aid in their conquests, including experimenting on sentient species around the universe, including the Badoon, Centaurians, and Chimelians. Thousands of years later, the Kree performed their experiments on Earth's early man, creating another branch of super beings there. All these intergalactic races would come to be known as the Inhumans. On Earth, the Inhumans became an advanced culture. After becoming a distinct society, Earth's Inhumans founded the advanced city of Atlan in the North Atlantic Ocean. Beneath it, they discovered the rare Terrigen crystals, which could unlock the Kree-given superhuman potential in their DNA and cause unpredictable transformations. Around 2000 BC, the dull-witted alpha primitive clones were genetically created to serve as Atlan's manual labor force. Hundreds of years later, Inhuman King Boltagan moved Atalan to a remote section of the Himalayas to hide his people from the rapidly developing outside world. Atalan was first referenced in Captain America Comics number 1 in 1941. An example of Earth's early progenitors of the Cro-Magnons took the cave boy, and his parents were exiled for unrevealed reasons from the technologically advanced Atalan. After his parents were slain by wild beasts, Tuck was raised by one of the Shaggy Ones and went on to travel and have adventures in prehistoric Earth's developing realms. Tuck's inhuman ancestry is new information provided in this series, Captain America 1 to 5 in 1941. When an alien Plodex ship crashed on Earth, it sent a mental summons compelling native life to travel to the ship. A primitive man, Eshu, survived the travels, only to be captured by the Plodex ship and vivisected to obtain genetic information to further the race's intended conquering of Earth. However, over the next 30,000 years, Eshu's brain gradually gained control of the ship and built a perfect body for him, becoming the would-be Master of the World, featured in Alpha Flight issues 2 to 4 in 1983. During a war against Volusia's King Kull, sorcerers of the continent Atlantis used Sethan's evil parchments to seek magical weapons. One of their efforts transformed a gravely wounded Atlantean, Giganthothopokivus, named Varney, into Earth's first vampire, unleashing a plague of undead upon Earth that would last until modern times. When the Celestials returned to Earth, they were attacked by the Deviants, who had become the dominant species. In 18,000 BC, the Celestials fired back in retaliation, causing entire continents to sink beneath the waves and killing millions in an event that would be called the Great Cataclysm. During the devastation, it is believed Atlantean sorcerers saved some of the population by magically turning them into underwater breathers, creating the underwater dwelling direct ancestors of the Homo Mermanus, which is the Atlantean race. However, some attribute the creation of this race to the Olympian god of the sea, Neptune. The Great Cataclysm was depicted in Eternals number 2 and Submariner 62 to 64, and the wizard's transformation of the water breathers was revealed in Incredible Hercules number 123 in 2008. Over the eons after Atum destroyed the Elder Gods, mankind's nascent consciousness tapped into the god stuff laced through creation, gradually causing new gods to be born in man's image. Among these beings were the Asgardian and Olympian pantheons. The Marvel Tarot, Issue 1, 2007, details the first confirmed time the role of Earth's Sorcerer Supreme was passed to another. Agamotto relinquished the title to Shamhat Saraswati, who was from a race of winged people, birdmen, created by the noble mystic Oshtur to counter the evil serpent men and wolfmen created by the demonic Sithon. Saraswati has not been depicted in the Marvel Universe. Much later, a Central European tribe believed a newborn child was destined for godhood. Over the child's early years, the tribe members sacrificed himself to her hunger for life force. The apparently immortal, vampire-like mutant, who would eventually become known as Selene, began a quest for power that would continue into the modern day. Her birth was depicted in KsMr, Issue 1, 2009. The Blood Gem was created prior to the start of the seventh iteration of reality by an ancient race of gods who sought to conquer other dimensions. Surviving the Big Bang, the gem found its way to Earth by 8250 BC. Sometime later, a hunter attacked the gem after its energies killed its tribe. When the gem shattered during the attack, a fragment embedded itself in the hunter's chest, granting him immortality. As Ulysses' Bloodstone, the hunter began centuries-long war against modern monsters. His pursuit of the monster Giganto gave rise to Herman Melville's Moby Dick. Ulysses' Bloodstone's origin was told in Marvel Presents number 2, 1975. Around 6000 BC, two factions of Homo Mermanus colonized the ruins of the city of Atlantis, which had been underwater for thousands of years following the Great Cataclysm. Atlantis' new residents called themselves Atlanteans, dedicated the city to their god, Neptune, and began welcoming immigrants. These were all told in the Saga of the Submariner, Issue 1, 1988. When a meteor crashed into Wakanda, a small African nation, the Wakandans mined their ore and learned to use it in their spearheads. This vibration-absorbing ore, named vibranium, was significant in helping Wakanda become one of the most scientifically and technologically advanced countries on Earth. The meteor's impact was depicted in the seventh issue of Black Panther in 1978.